Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often trying and reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Daviess County Double Barrel Limited Edition. Ooh. So I bought this at the distillery in the summer of 2022. I was at Lux Row. I was there. I did a nice tour. I was all alone with my tour guide. And at the end, when we did the tasting, she said, have you tried this? I said, I have the standard Daviess County at home. I have the French oak. I have the Cabernet Sauvignon finish. And we went through the other products at Lexroy. I said, I've had. And then she said, but this, and she went down under the table, brought this back up and said, the double oak you've never had, the double barrel. I said, no, I haven't. And I tried it, bought it, I was happy. Now I paid about, I think it was $48 for this. Just fine, no problem. It's a distillery exclusive. So I'm reading from the website now here. It says, this limited edition small batch bourbon whiskey is finished in fresh Missouri white oak barrels. Okay, a lot of white oak comes from Missouri. With the number 2 char, very interesting. We have 1 barely, 2 a little bit more, 3 nice, and 4 very, very heavily, alligator, and with toasted heads. We'll talk about that in a second. The char and toast combination adds rich dark chocolate and caramel notes to the finished product. It was developed in partnership with Ducks Unlimited. Who is Ducks Unlimited? And like all Daviess County variants, is a mix of rye and wheated bourbons and is 96 proof, so 48% ABV. So we have corn, we have wheat, we have rye, and we have malted barley. That is very, very interesting. So, if you're talking about barrels, especially in America, usually an oak barrel is not toasted before it is charred. So you have the staves out in the, you go to International Stave Company, you go to Kelvin Cooperage, and so on. Normally, you just have the staves outside. You leave them out there air dried. 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. You take them into a joiner shop, basically. You make them into staves. You put those staves together. You hammer them together. You raise the barrel, and then you char the barrel. You don't toast it, you char it. Now, wine barrels, toasted. International Stave Company does have a toasted barrel. They put grooves in there. You have 28% more surface area because of that. And for example, Sagamore Double Oak uses a very, very interesting International Stave Company barrel that is heavily toasted, lightly charred, to finish their rye whiskey in, so that it conforms to the regulations of a bourbon whiskey, rye whiskey, straight whiskey. That it was always a new charred oak container. So this actually has seen 2 new charred oak containers, barrels. Now, do you know of any other whiskeys out there that have seen 2 new charred oak barrels? I'm going to pull out one that I love, and that is actually the same price in Germany as this. So I can get this for 45 euros. So I can get this for $48. This is Woodford Reserve's Double Oaked. What do? They have Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in a second oak barrel. So that second oak barrel is then also charred lightly. And there might be a little bit of toasting going on in there. I don't know. It might just be charred. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm sure you know better than I do. Write it down in the chat so I can learn. So now if I have the possibility to buy a new second bottle, would I go back to Bardstown, Kentucky, where Lux Row Distillery is? Beautiful tour. Loved it. Enjoyed it. Learned a lot. Thank you very much. Across the street, just down the road about a half a mile, is Bardstown Bourbon Company. Go there as well. Go there just to eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever. Bardstown Bourbon Company is a special place to be. If you are in Bardstown, go to Bardstown Bourbon Company. I cannot recommend it enough. If you have time left over, go to Lux Row. and I go to that distillery as well. But Bardstown Bourbon Company is just eye-openingly amazing. All right, if you go to Versailles, Kentucky, you will see the pot stills. Here, Lincoln Henderson actually set this up to somehow combat, somehow to be able to hold their ground with Maker's Mark. And so Brown-Forman has their Woodford Reserve. Where do they make the spirit that is in here? Do they make it exclusively at Versailles in Kentucky at the Woodford Reserve Distillery? No. This is a mix. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey means bourbon from one single state. So you can put bourbon in there from their Louisville distillery. You can put bourbon in there from their Shenley distillery. You can put bourbon in there from their Versailles distillery. And it's still Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's absolutely loud. Only Bottle and Bond is one single distillery. This is not Bottle and Bond. This has pot still whiskey. This has column still whiskey in it, which is great. And then they put it in the second new barrel, which I love. This is one of my favorite whiskeys at this price point for this deliciousness. This is liquid fudge together with oak spice. So the easiest description I can give. I just thoroughly enjoy this. This, Daviess, there's honey. There's a little bit of honeysuckle. This is an interesting whiskey, but the first thing that I notice is younger. This is for me like a tenor, let's say a 16-year-old boy, man, whatever you're a teenager, that is still singing tenor. His voice may have changed already, but he's still up there in the soprano tenor mode. Let's call him tenor. This is the guy in the back. He's 40, 50 years old. He's got a little bit of beer belly, and he's got a beard, and he's singing bass. And it's so smooth. It's very white. All right? This is just so much deeper and richer. And that's what it smells like. It's just a difference between night and day. This is so much better. Chris Morris and Elizabeth now today, thank you very much for a beautiful, beautiful product. Thank you for having this in Europe now. Having this in Europe now for 8 years at least, I think. All right, so I've been doing my whiskey YouTube channel since 2016, and it's been there the whole time. And it's just beautiful, beautiful whiskey. This is something, if you go to the distillery, Lux Co. was bought by MGP. Lux Row Distilleries is their distillery. This is source whiskey. They just put some rye whiskey, some rye bourbon together, some wheated bourbon, and diluted it down to 48%. Before that, they put it in another barrel. This is something that's good. If you like the Rebel Yell, Lux Row. Yeah. What's the other distillery? So Ezra Brooks. Ezra Brooks is their rye mash bill. Rebel is their wheated mash bill. Probably Heaven Hill, most of it. Just put together, put that in the second barrel. That's what you get here. Is it unique? Yes. Is it special? It's a C whiskey. Value for money, $48 is what I paid. I'm going to say no. I'd go spend my money for something else today after having tried that. I was at the distillery. I tried it. I liked it. Is there something better in the market today? Yes. If you can find a Rebel 10, those are nice. You can't get it for $48, but it has a little bit of youthfulness in here. You can really taste the honey, the alcohol, the wood, a little bit of the corn. It's not bad. It's fairly cohesive. It's holistic, but yet if I go over to the Woodford Reserve and just try the comparison whiskey for the same price over here, I'm not sure what you're paying in the States for Woodford Reserve Double Oak. 48%. We get cheated over in Europe, by the way. We get 43.2%. You get 45.2%. has to do some old regulations about alcohol taxes and rules and so on. And Brown-Forman's never got their act together and changed this. Brown-Forman, if you're listening, change it. Give us the same ABV as in America. Pass it on to us. I mean, hey, you've just gotten out of paying 50% tariffs on bourbon. Why don't you just give us 2% more ABV? In Germany, we pay 13.03 euros per liter of alcohol, which means that's going to cost you 34 cents. That's a guess, all right? Per bottle on taxes, not even, and that's, no, it's less, all right? It's probably not even 8 cents per bottle. Please do that for us. Pretty please. All right. As I said, this is a C to C minus whiskey. Let's go for C whiskey. Value for money, it's a C minus minus. This is an A minus whiskey. This is a B value for money for me. I thoroughly enjoy my Woodford Reserve Double Oak, and I don't think there's been weeks, there might have been a month in my last 8 years that I have not had a bottle opened of this in my shelf. This is one of the things I've converted many people to a joy of American bourbons, and especially the Double Oak moment is so fantastic. And the value for money is still excellent. Thank you. Whiskey Jason here. My question of the day: what is your favorite Double Oaked product from America? Is it going to be Woodford Reserve? Is it Daviess County? Is it a Sagamore Double Oak Rye? Where are the Double Oaks that you like? No finished products. I want a new charred oak container afterwards. What are your Double Oaked things? Most of them we have not had the opportunity to have in Europe yet, but maybe one day soon. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and telling others. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.